Hello, hello. Welcome everyone. Another GFB Thursday. As promised, this week will be a little lighter. Last week was a little heavy, and I'm so glad that so many of the people that participated were receptive to what we were discussing. And if there were any questions or thoughts on the subject matter from last week, please feel free to send them into the chat or what have you, and we can continue that conversation in spurts. But today is a fun day for us. Greg and Julia, glad you could make it and rejoin us. And it's been a couple weeks, so glad to see you guys are doing well. I know you're also busy. And Danya, thanks as always for working on the behind the scenes stuff. And actually, I see my sister Lorraine has joined us. So if anything, you guys may be entertained by a trivia game which does hold a prize of a $50 gift certificate for Amazon, Gregory and Julia. So you might want to really, you might want to try. $50 from Amazon gets you just about anything and everything because Amazon has anything and everything. So with that being said, tonight's topic, once we get done with the trivia, is summer vacations, question mark. This is just a show I want to dedicate to the importance of travel, the importance of getting outside of your normal surroundings, seeing something different, going and doing something different. I think that is a key to growth and to a growth mindset, is to understand that what you see every day and where you go every day is not the end all to be all. So I'll be asking those parties involved and anybody online that wants to send this in your best, and it doesn't have to be summer, of course, your best travel experience, where you went, what made it so special inside the United States, outside the United States. Portia, I wish you could have joined us tonight. How you doing? Going to talk a little bit about travel. We're going to have a little Kahoot game. I know you can join out there, so please, there is a $50 gift certificate to Amazon online. Don't forget that. So get ready for the Kahoot information when it comes. But yeah, so we're going to talk about travel a little bit, how important it is, what your favorite time was, what do you have planned in the future? COVID can't keep us in the house forever. There's somewhere you've been wanting to go, someplace you've been wanting to see. So what is that? Why? And what are you looking forward to most about it? So with all of that being said, Danya, if you can start us on the Kahoot path, that would be great. And again, welcome everybody on Facebook and YouTube. If you can, get your cell phone out and get ready to play Kahoot with us and see if you win a prize. I know you have to go to, what is it, Kahoot.it? Yeah. Kahoot.it. And Danya's going to give us the rest
Do
of
I
the
need to
information.
I'm about to say, do I need to unmute anybody right quick?
Uh, yeah, if you're not, just leave me unmuted and we'll make do with the rest. Gregory and Julia, you can mute. And I know they may get too excited. So, yeah, you can mute everybody except me. I'll run my mouth during the course of this thing. Kahoot.it. And Don, you have to show us the game pin and all that good stuff. Here we go. All right. So if you're out there on Porsche, if you can, whoever can join in, we'll give everybody a couple minutes to get that game pin put into their phones. 5849147. Once you push enter, then I should pop up there in just a second. There we go. All right. So I won the race to get into Kahoot first. Let's see if I win the rest. There's my sister. All right, Gregory, you need any help? Let me know. 5849147.
We're having trouble.
We're having trouble.
Go to.
I've done it before. Let's see.
Yeah, you got in there that one time. So if you go to Kahoot.it.
It's asking if I'm a teacher, professional, personal, I guess.
Don't go to the website. Go to Kahoot.it. Don't go to .com. Do IT. Where it says.
Okay.
Kahoot.it is saying that?
Maybe not. Let's see. Let me start over. I did it before.
Yeah, I know. I know you got it.
I too. Kids, books, Kahoot, play and create.
This is like working with your grandparents.
I'm not gonna age you guys that much. If you just,
it's okay. We're just like them.
If you go to the top of your search, okay, there's portions in. So if you go to the top of your search window, don't Google it. Just go to Kahoot.it in the very top search window.
Okay, we don't put in the App Store.
Yeah, no app. No.
Sorry. Okay.
Just your browser. Just go in your browser. Okay. We've already fixed it. See, we're already almost there. So yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Just the browser.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, we're good. Okay, I just need to enter the
5849147.
That's it. I told you we get it worked out. I believe. All good. G and J, there you go. There's Greg. Okay. All right. So looks like 4 of us. That's more than enough for my taste. So anybody online, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds. Danya, kick us off. I have no clue what we're doing, so let's see what happens. Porsche, you gotta wake up your phone. Wake up your phone, Porsche. You be right back in there. Happy Women's History Month and March Madness.
Oh gosh, it's gonna be basketball.
Right. Answer on your phone. Ooh. It's a good one. All right. Off to a good start. Three of us got it. All right. I'll keep reading them. What's the next one? 2018 University of Maryland, Baltimore County was the first 16th seed to beat number 1 who? I'm not the most basketball savvy. Who did they defeat? Yeah, nobody knew. All right. True or false? Cleopatra was the first pharaoh to rule ancient Egypt. Was Cleopatra a pharaoh? All right. So far, so good by me. Number 4. According to a 2018 BBC poll, blank was the woman most significant impact on world history. And it's filling in. Wow. I don't even know who that is. And I'm a historian. I'm ashamed. Or maybe it went too fast. It is going a little fast, dang. In 1984, Georgetown, led by Patrick Ewing, won the first national championship. Which school did they defeat? I think I know who that was. Maybe I don't. These are pretty tough. But, when you're winning, You can just try to hold on to it. Keep the lead. U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth is a veteran who retired from the blank before becoming a public servant. I want to go with that one. Yeah. Well, nothing's changing. Frida Kahlo, known for her many powerful friends, was born in. Yeah. I know my sister got that one correct. Yeah. Oh, maybe not. Craig, good job. Or Julia. This coach has the most wins ever in women's college basketball history. I think I know that one, but maybe not. Yeah, I was Pat Summitt. I remember her very well. Yeah. Lisa Leslie is the first basketball player to dunk an WNBA game. I think that's I think I know that one. Oh man. I think everybody thought they knew that one. I'll just keep holding on. These are flying by, Don. Y'all don't know if you got it on fast forward or what, but we getting them done, ain't we? Christian Laettner hit one of the most iconic shots in NCAA history. Name of the year or his opponent. I think I know that. Did I get it? I think I got it. Oh, time ran out because it's flying by. Yeah. I picked the right answers, but it's going a little quick. Okay. Where is the men's NCAA Final Four in 2021? Now he's slowing it down. I might need to hold on to my win there, Dane. Okay. Nobody got that one. This might be the worst trivia ever. All right, number 12. What city has hosted the most NCAA men's Final Fours? Wow, I did not know it was Kansas City. Okay. Uh-oh. Sister's trying to stage a dramatic comeback like I did the last time we played. See if I can hold her off. True or false? Romeo and Juliet belongs to the Montague family. Juliet belongs to the Montague family. Ooh. Did I stave her off with? Yeah. Shakespeare. Last question. Double the points. Type the answer. For the win, this country is the largest in the world in total area, land square footage. Let's see. What is the answer? I think I got that one because I'm actually doing a whole lot of reading about Russia this semester. So yeah, I'll take the fact that that's what happens when you read a lot of stuff. You kind of know certain things you might not know otherwise. So I'll take that victory. Don, you keep up with who came in second place. Oh, since it wasn't my sister. Greg, congratulations. You guys win a $50 gift certificate. Good job. Good job. Those were some tough questions. I don't know, who was angry. I think Meryl might have been having a bad day or something when he came up with those questions because they were just mean. They were just mean. But congratulations, Greg and Julia. You will be receiving a gift certificate to Amazon. You can get some kind of book you like or coffee mug, something that only you can get from Amazon.
It's just good to be that close to you winning.
Well, unfortunately for my sister, who I'm sure was trying her best, that that was like, almost touching the sun, real
It
close.
was great. Is there any way that we can donate our card, our Amazon card?
I'm sure. I would definitely take that up with Meryl, and we will definitely find a worthy recipient. Thank you guys for that. That's awesome. Much
We'd
appreciated.
like to do that.
Good.
Yeah, much appreciated. $50 goes a long way on Amazon. You buy a lot of stuff.
It's fun.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
That was
I appreciate everybody's participation. Like I stated, we're gonna just keep it light tonight. I'm hoping that my sister is audible. Can you talk, Lorraine?
I've been talking the whole time. Y'all can't hear me?
Nah, we couldn't. You were muted.
No, I unmuted several times and said hello and talk.
Nah, we couldn't hear you. So we got you now. I hear you now. So we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of travel, seeing things. If you have plans coming up, if you got somewhere you're going in the next 3, 4, 5 years, whatever those things are, what's on your bucket list as far as someplace you got to get to and see. Just in a general conversation around the importance of travel and what you guys have in mind or what you've done that's been an experience that you'll never forget. I'll start with myself just to give it a little bit of framework, and then I'll come around the space and we'll just have a good conversation. So in 2004, one of the most, matter of fact, yeah, I think it was 2004. One of the biggest trips I ever took, and it kind of changed my perspective of the world, was the job I was working at the time sent me to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. And it was a 10-hour flight, the longest I'd ever been on a plane. A baby was on the plane. So yeah, there was the crying and the poop, and that was 10 hours. But upon landing in a place that I had never thought I ever imagined I would ever see, did not have a lot of inclination or desire to see, but was so appreciable of the culture, the age of the place. I mean, how long it had been a functional town, city, and all of those things that come with that. It's a port city, so the water's right there, and you get a good understanding from an old world perspective of why it was so important to be near the water. Some of the highlights, because we spent a couple days in Amsterdam, and then we went to Germany for a day, and then we came back to Amsterdam. So I remember going to a bar that was literally, I think, and I'm not certain, but the idea behind the word tavern probably comes from how these bars were like carved out of the earth almost. So you just kind of like walking into almost a cave. But this bar, not remembering the date exactly, it was older than the United States. We're founded in 1776, but this bar had been open years and years before the United States had even been founded. So just to give you an idea of going somewhere that is older than what you're familiar with, but has been functional for such a long period of time, in my opinion, was kind of awe-inspiring. Got to visit the place where Van Gogh's artist is stored in his museum, so to speak. I'm fairly certain it didn't exist at the time he was alive. From what I understand, he was not a successful artist until he passed away, and his brother ushered in his success later on. Got to see a city that was one of the cleanest in the world for everything that takes place there, for all of the stuff that they do that I will not go into. It's very, very relaxed atmosphere, very liberal city, but they keep it clean. Every evening, the street sweepers came out, sweep the city clean. My sinuses suffered a lot. There's a lot of canals. A lot of stuff goes on over there in the canals, the waterways. So my sinuses were just in terrible shape because of the moisture in the air. Gosh, bicycles. So they're very, very supportive of riding bikes. So much to the point that I understand that they gave away hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of bicycles. There were parking decks that were actually just for bicycles. But there were so many of them that people would just ride a bike a block or two to wherever they were going and just leave it and come back out. And if it's another bike 2 feet down the road, somebody's taking theirs, they take the other bike and go about their merry way. And I also understood that the canals were filled with bicycles also, people just tossing the bikes in the canals. The driving was different. The trip to Germany, we actually did get on the Autobahn, which some people may be familiar with. There's no speed limit. There's no brackets in the road, so it's just a smooth bit of cement that stretches all the way to Germany. And that's unfortunately the guy who gets credit for that is actually Hitler, because he established that roadway for transfer tanks and such. And anyway, enough about him. But it's awesome to be on that no speed limit highway, and bugs hitting the windshield sound like gunshots almost. It's so loud. So yeah, there was just a lot of different things to do. Oh, and I would be remiss. Anne Frank's house, the place that she hid out at, I actually got to tour that. I'm 6'4". The house is so small, and I could not even get into the attic where her and her family hid. So I looked, and I'm stooping down throughout the house because it's just so tiny. And it was just amazing that it was amazing to be in that space and know that she was in there hiding out, trying to save her and her family's life in such a tiny space, and especially, like I said, given my height. But anyway, that's a kind of one of the high bars in terms of my travel, getting outside the United States, and some different food, different people. Very important. And I have other stories that take place right here in the United States, but it's important to get outside of your surroundings. That's pretty much the premise. Just talk about your travel, talk about what you intend to do. And I'll say this about that trip. It really opened up my eyes to other cultures, how places have existed and thrived without what we as Americans think is necessary in certain areas. There wasn't a lot of emphasis on materialism that I witnessed. I'm sure it's there, but it just was, a lot of kind of accessible people, kind of down to earth people. That was my experience. But and that was 2004, so it's been a while. Things may have changed, don't know. Gregory and Julia. I'm sure Greg will probably say, Julia, you go first. But tell a little about your travel experiences.
Well, it's interesting. This is the topic because that was our business for 15 years. We had a motor coach company, and we mostly took older people on tours around the United States. But then we got into cruises and overseas. And one of my favorite trips was Amsterdam and Holland and Norway during tulip time. And I just loved the bicycles, the people. It was so funny because our 80-year-old, 75 to 85-year-old women and men wanted to go to like
red light,
the red light, the dirty toy store areas. And one of them even wanted to try to smoke pot, which was legal. People just do it in the bars and you can buy all kinds. So that was an experience besides Anne Frank and Van Gogh.
I was trying to be a little bit demure, and there you are, telling all of the secrets of us, man.
Yeah. We it's very you described it well with very liberal, but it's so beautiful, isn't it? And the countryside and the people, and also they were way ahead of us with energy conservation. We were there probably similar time that you were there. Probably one of the most profound trips Gregory and I took together was a service trip to India. And it was so different. Talk about a different culture. We were staying, well, everybody on the trip ended up getting sick because there's no clean water. And the
air was very dirty.
The air was so dirty, a mask wouldn't even help you breathe. But the people were so lovely, and the children who have nothing. I mean, they'd be, half naked, and we took a bunch of like string games and coloring books and crayons, and the smallest thing made them so happy. And we visited several orphanages and spent time there, did service work there. And another thing that stands out, that it didn't matter how poor a house was, they would invite you in and give you tea, hot tea, and whatever they had. Talk about no materialism. They were the nicest, most welcoming people. And again, a religion that's so different than ours. Cows and animals are just walking across the street. We were on a bus, and if you're passing, you honk. That's how you pass. And the traffic patterns, there's no organization. It's all chaos. And the pictures you see in the movie with all the electrical wires and things hanging down, it's all true. It's just crazy. And I remember on our bus, we all had bad stomachs
and coughing,
and the food's terrible, and people have to go to the bathroom, but there's no restrooms. So we stop at these big fields, and it'd be like men on the left, women on the right. And so it's funny what sticks with you. And that was probably about 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But they were beautiful people. We're allowed to tell about it. And it, like you said, we were outside of our comfort zone. We didn't sleep much. We didn't eat much. We were sick most of the time, but we loved it. It was just a great experience.
We slept on the floor of one airport because the airport that we were intended to fly into was so socked in that we had to wait for another plane. And instead of getting on a plane, we ended up getting on a bus, driving through the hills during the night over roads that are just potholes. And there are virtually no roads. But it was a dangerous ride, but we slept through it somehow and arrived the next morning, and the daylight was coming up. Felton, that was our business that we did for 15 years, as Julia was saying. And I think the joy of the job that we did, we ran one tour right after the other. We planned everything. We did everything. It was a very vertical company. I cleaned the restrooms in the bus. I washed the bus. I changed the oil. We planned the tours to every detail. It was our baby, and we were pretty good at it because we love people. We love old folks, and they loved us back. That was one of the joys, is that when we started out and we were young people then, these old folks would adopt us and give us so many chances to improve ourselves. And we managed to stay in there, hang in there, and do pretty well. Every year we would produce at least one brochure that we would send out to about 3,500 people on our mailing list. And people would go through our brochures and pick out a trip and call us up and sign up and go on these tours. But in this brochure, we always included a quote from Mark Twain. And you might be familiar with it. And it speaks to what you were saying, Felton. And this is how it goes. Nothing so liberalizes a man and expands the kindly instincts that nature put in him than travel and meeting different kinds of people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think otherwise you kind of doom yourself to one way of looking at the world, and maybe two, maybe three, but they're just all attached and too much alike, as opposed to really going somewhere and saying, hey, you know, things are different here and they're okay. And I might miss home, but I don't feel too bad being away from there either. It's a lot that comes with traveling. And yeah, absolutely. Mark Twain is a pretty awesome guy. I have a lot. We have to have a conversation about him one day, Gregory. I think he's one of the mental giants of the 19th and 20th century. And I'm going to come back around because I want to get some more conversation. And Greg, if there was a story particularly you wanted to share, can I get to my sister and come back to you if you have one? Yeah, I have one. I want to come back to you and let you tell a story of your own. Thank you guys for sharing. Lorraine, I know you as a person that likes to travel, is well traveled. So if you can talk about some of the highlights you've had and some of the travels that were intricate to maybe rearranging the way you perceive the world.
Okay, so one of my favorite ones, I guess I'll just speak about the time I was on about 5 planes through a vacation. So planned a trip to go to, I think our first stop was Rome. No, first stop was Athens, Greece, Rome, Italy, and then Egypt to round it out. So in the middle of that, flying flights between each area. So a flight from Atlanta to Rome, Italy. Athens, Greece first. So that was our first stop, and that was actually a different, a kind of a different way of a different environment. I think it was the people initially that kind of we had a different view on the culture there. Other than that, it was nice. The food was great in Athens. We were able to see some ruins. We didn't necessarily go to the islands. That's the next time I go back and visit because I know Mykonos and all those are very, very beautiful. But being inside in the city, it was actually a great experience and great food and restaurants. From there, we took a flight to Rome, Italy. Saw the Colosseum from afar. We didn't do the tour of the Colosseum, but it was very beautiful. Where we stayed, transportation was interesting because we got on the bus, and there was no kind of signage to say, "Hey, here's where you put the money." And we kind of like, I think most of you guys are well traveled, so you kind of look at people and kind of follow them. So no one put any money in there, so we basically rode the public transportation for free. I know we were probably cheating the system, but we rode it from one end of where our hotel was to the other end, and just knew we needed to get back on. It was a straight shot. One of my good friends, he actually is from that area, and he recommended that we do a day trip to Firenze or Florence. So I organized it, figured it out, took one of their rapid transit trains. The shorter the trip, the faster the commute. We took the kind of middle route, but we were able to get to Florence for a day trip, and it's very beautiful. That's the one place I would go back. Rome was nice. It's touristy because that's what it is, but Florence or Firenze was beautiful. I would go back. I still have pictures and it's funny. Everyone that I've seen that goes to Florence is kind of a cobblestone area with a huge waterway, and it's beautiful. I have beautiful photos from there. Had the best pasta, the best wine, the best food. Everything is fresh. And restaurants are like you see in the movies. You have not so much a patio, but you're literally sitting in the street with maybe an umbrella, maybe not, but they just pull some tables outside of the restaurants because the restaurants are kind of tiny. They're not like huge. at least the ones that I experienced. Took the train back, and actually ended up having dinner not far from our hotel in the middle of the street as well. So it was just like you're in kind of the middle of the street where cars are, almost like an island. If you've see a little island in the middle of the street. So we did that. That was awesome. Met people, talked to people. That was a good experience in Italy. Then from there, the flight went to Egypt. Egypt was different, very different. The level of the hotel, we actually increased it because this was like one big huge package. We increased the level of, or the stars of the hotel that we experienced. I just wonder what the other hotel that was beneath the stars would have looked like, because this one didn't look like a 5-star hotel at all. Didn't feel like it. Just to give you some insight, we arrived in the airport, and it's a totally different experience. Most places I've been, London, Paris, any other foreign country to the U.S., you find people that speak English, and everything is pretty you see signs, you exit here, you go here, here's your tag. Egypt was a little bit different, and we got off, and it was like, ooh, where are we, and what do we do? Luckily, this guy, that's all I can. I don't remember his name. He was standing there, and he kind of, I guess, knew we needed help, but we were still a little skeptical because we don't know him. He doesn't know us, and we didn't want to get taken advantage of. So something just came over me. I said, we need to trust him, that he can be our guide. So basically, he pitched himself as a guide. He spoke fluent English. He actually, I think he was Egyptian, but I'm not sure. So he was able to, we paid him to take us to our hotel. From there, he waited on us while we freshened up, which, like I said, we didn't use any of the things that were in that hotel. Changed clothes, and he actually took us to the restaurant that was on his list, where he kind of gets a kickback if we go spend money. So we felt comfortable going there. It was authentic food. They did have Pepsi, and I'm a condiment fan. They had ketchup. All of it looked different and tasted different, but it was interesting. I still have those photos. But the restaurant was really, really good. After that, we actually went to the pyramids, and unbeknownst to me, it's almost like if you've ever been to Atlanta, we have Stone Mountain. They do a laser show. They do a laser show at the pyramids, which kind of threw me. I was like, wow, for real. So basically, it was a nighttime laser show scene. They had white chairs sitting out in the dust or in the sand of the desert, and you just watched this beautiful laser show. So once we did that night, he took us back to the hotel. We slept, kind of, sort of, didn't really sleep under the sheets at all, because it smelled like you worked in a cigarette factory. It was really horrible. So the next morning, he came to pick us up. We went shopping. I still have a ring I had made at one of the other locations he took us to that he got a kickback from. And my name is spelled out in the hieroglyphs. So it's like it's actually one of my favorite pieces that I've purchased on all of my trips. Because they had to make it, and then we had to leave. They were actually physically creating it, and we left and came back and got it.
I think you brought me one back. I think you brought me one back too. I think you brought me a ring back too. I have it somewhere. Yeah.
Did I bring you a ring, or did I bring you a necklace?
You brought me a ring. Got a ring.
I'm pretty
too.
sure I did. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I forgot about that. So they brought we actually from there we went back to the pyramids during the daytime. Now this was like the best thing ever for me, because I didn't know we could climb the pyramid. So you were able to walk up as far as you could, or really physically wanted to go. I trusted him with my nice Canon camera, so he took pictures of us as we were walking up. So that was really nice. That's the first time I was on a camel, and it was so many flies, and it was like from afar, it looks like, oh, I'm gonna get on a camel, and when you get up close, there's a stench that I couldn't get out of my nose. And I used my last, I forgot what the money's called, but I used my last to pay him. Literally, I got on. I had my good friend who was traveling with me. She was taking the photos. I was like, just snap, because she didn't know how to use the camera. I said, it's on automatic, just fire away. I went up on the camel, and he was like, you don't want to walk? I know. Went up, and I came right back down. So that was my time on a camel. I said, that's my first time on a camel. I did not ride the camel. The next time I was able to ride when I went to Dubai, but that's another story. But that was like a great experience. So I brought back some sand, but Egypt is something. I did see the Nile River. It was different. That's all I can say. Very, very, very different.
That's one of the many trips that my sister has taken that it's few places that I really, really want to go, but the Mediterranean, the cradle of civilization, Greece and culture, and Egypt's right over there across the water. So yeah, that's one of the places I definitely would not mind making it to, and I'm glad she did, because she did take some awesome pictures, and she did bring me back a ring with my name as hieroglyphs. I guess it was my name. I think they just probably said, "Hey, let's put these little things on here."
I said the same thing, but I did look at the what do you call it?
The Rosetta Stone, the deciphering stone.
Yeah, they had it kind of lifted. I was like, we don't know if this is really our name, or not. But it was written out. So hopefully it is our names or something nice.
Well, Greg, I'm coming back to you as promised. What do you have on your important travel list?
Well, I want to tell Lorraine how much I enjoyed that little trip we just went on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Probably make a really good travel guide, a tour guide.
And teachers make the best tour directors. So if you're looking for a future, we used to always hire teachers because they explain good, they're patient, and they work with kids, which that's what.
Yes, you have to have patience with the kids.
Well, the teachers are. Go ahead, please.
I'm sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that we learned early on. We had to learn quick. We really knew nothing about the travel business. I was a truck driver and a salesman. Julia worked for a retirement community, sales and marketing. So you put old folks and wheels together, and you get the travel business. And we made a go of it, had a great time. But what we learned early on was the best travelers were retired school teachers. The best guides were retired school teachers. They have a thirst for knowledge, and they love to share it as well. And they ask the best questions. And they're always open. If something didn't go according to plan, they rolled with it. And so we're very grateful for those teachers. They led the way. They were good examples. Felton, to answer your question, have been literally everywhere in the United States, but usually it was from behind driving a bus. And so I didn't experience everything that our passengers did, but I thought I had the best seat in the house. I saw it as a bus driver up front and saw how beautiful it was traveling across the country. One of the most profound experiences I had, though, was going to New York City. And it was right after 9/11. And it was the profound difference that event, 9/11 event, had on the consciousness of New York. Our tour guide was a guy who we used every year. We look forward to seeing him. Robert was his name. We saw him every year, and he did usually a Christmas tour at Christmas time. We did all the normal touristy things. He made it special. He's an excellent guide. But what we've sensed in the consciousness of the people of New York was they were affected, deeply affected. They were changed. And people kept saying, New Yorkers kept saying, we don't want the old normal. We don't want to go back to normal. We want a new normal. We want change. It was a terrible event, but it had some type of a profound experience on those people of New York City, and we experienced it with them when we were with them in New York. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We've had lots of travel, lots of great experiences, but that was almost surreal in the effect that it had on a city that's so resilient and so powerful in itself and so confident in itself, and yet it had a change. It had such a powerful effect on them.
Yeah, Greg, I totally. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I totally understand that. I went to Mississippi not long after Katrina, and yeah, whenever those profound events take place, you do notice. It's like an appreciation for life itself, but it is some somber moments inside of what the normal atmosphere would be. And I had never been to Mississippi previous, but I could tell that there was just this, like, we survived something that was, otherworldly. Julia, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say there's like a humility, a humbleness, and there was a softening, right, for the New Yorkers. And they were just kinder and gentler.
A little more reflective.
Yeah, yeah. And I just also want to share that I love Lorraine's story, and Florence. If I could go back anywhere, it would be Florencia. And what you said about the food, was that amazing? Like, they talk about pizza and pasta here. It's not even close, is it?
It's not. And I'm a pizza. Like, I don't care what kind of eating plan I'm on, not diet, but eating plan. I'm going to have the pizza if pizza's around. And I can eat a whole pizza. I love pizza. But over there, the pizza, it was like, you get it and you're like, there's nothing on it. It might just be cheese or, some big slices of mozzarella. But it's so good. Like, really, really good. And the pasta just melted in your mouth. I haven't found anything that's close to it here, even though there's many Italian restaurants here in Atlanta. But yeah, you're right.
And red wine's better than the water, right?
Yes, red wine and the calamari was good. Everything was delicious. All of it was good. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Greg, much like you, I have not been a consistent traveler, but I did drive from North Carolina to California some years ago. And if you only go places within the United States, that's worthy travel. The country is beautiful. I stayed on 40 the whole way, and New Mexico was one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. And I stayed a couple different places on the way: Oklahoma, New Mexico, somewhere else, but just everywhere. The food different, the views different. In New Mexico, you could see for miles, and I mean, some of the most awesome skylines, the rock structures, the red clay or whatever makes the desert out there red. Beautiful, beautiful place. And the sky, clear, super clear. And I had there's a sign that I always make sure I mention when I was making my return, not to North Carolina. I went to Alabama from there, but I got on 40 again. So I've seen both signs for 40. The one in California that tells you how far you have to go to Wilmington, and the one in Wilmington that tells you how far you have to go to California. So there literally is a road that takes you from one end of the country to the other, and it lets you know how many miles it is when you see that sign. This has been wonderful. Anybody have, Danya, I did not ask. I don't know if you wanted to participate. I know you do a wonderful job behind the scenes, but if you have a travel tale to end on, you can share it.
Unfortunately, I don't have a travel.
Well, we've got to change that.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Absolutely. So that's the goal this year. Everybody get vaccinated and get situated to where it's safe to move around. And Danya, we're going to find somewhere for you to go. Doesn't have to be far. It can be baby steps. Take a long 2-hour drive and see something you've never seen before. And I guarantee you to change the way you perceive the world. we've got the beach in one direction and the mountains in the other, and neither one of them is more than 2.5, 3 hour ride. So we're gonna have to figure that out. Travel's important, guys. Take advantage, go while you can. Take a long walk somewhere you never walked before. Go to a park that you've never been to before. Just, open up your mind to seeing new things, and you'll be surprised what it does for your psyche. It really is good for you. So as we wrap this up, any last words from you guys, Gregory and Julia? Anything you want to throw in the pot?
I wanted to ask Lorraine. We visit with a group on Zoom every Wednesday at noon. It's called the Beloved Community Center in Greensboro. Lorraine, have you been there? Have you participated in that meeting?
She's a teacher in Atlanta. Aren't you in Atlanta?
Yes, ma'am. No, I haven't.
Okay.
Participated in that, but yes, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
I thought there was a Fushi participating in that. There's about 50 people that attend, and they come from all over the country to Zoom in on Wednesday at noon.
There
Many
could
of
be.
them, most of them in Greensboro, but many from other places. Anyway.
Sounds interesting, though.
Beautiful community. They call it the Beloved Community Center. Nelson and Joyce Johnson. They're spiritual giants.
I get the emails. Unfortunately, I have yet to make it, but I think they'll excuse me right now because, school and and internet time is consuming me. But I do get the emails, so maybe I'll make one of them. And Bob mentioned it a couple times. Yeah,
that would be great.
Yeah, I will, and I definitely need to get back in contact with Reverend Nelson. Anyway, he's good peoples, and we have more to discuss about improving our community locally. So hey, this has been wonderful. Lorraine, you got anything you want to throw out there before we wrap this up?
No, it's always a pleasure to participate.
All right.
It was great seeing you again, Lorraine.
And we want to hear stories about them.
Oh, I have a lot. I can tell you a bicycle story. I'm going to save that for later. When he mentioned bicycles, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, more.
Hey, it took me a while to learn how to ride a bicycle. I ran into stuff, hit cars. Cars didn't hit me.
Stuff. No, he hit a moving vehicle. But that's another
I just said I hit cars. Cars did not hit me. I have no shame. I was a terrible bicycle rider until I wasn't. Then I became one of the best to ever do it. So that's what happens.
It's still out. That jewelry is still out.
You gotta crawl before you walk. But this has been awesome. I appreciate you for joining us, sis. Greg and Julia, as always. Julia, did you have anything you wanted to say before we got out of here?
No, just great to see you all.
Great to see you as well. We'll have to coordinate another time. We can have a outdoor lunch, and I look forward to doing that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone have a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining us, and we'll get back to some more hostile content at some other point. Right now, think about the travel plans for the summer and get ready to go see some place you never saw before. Everyone have a good evening.
All right, you guys too.
Y'all take care.
Bye. Bye, Johnny.